thank you, folks. And as you can see, a nice crowd on hand here at the Casey Tibbs Match of Champions in Fort Pierre, South Dakota. Some interesting and some exciting things happening with the Casey Tibbs Foundation. And here's some of the people that have helped to make that happen as we highlight them here in the arena today. We're going to pay tribute here to Old Glory as Miss Rodeo, South Dakota carries in the colors of the red, the white, and the blue. Old Glory. We'll be ready to start here in just a few moments as we get underway with our first cowboy. It'll be Bart Macbeth from the state of Kansas. Macbeth has drawn the horse Wild Side. An 8-second ride is what we're looking for. Keep your seat in the saddle, your free hand in the air. Lift on that buck rein, and there's the whistle. Bart Macbeth, our first man out. And as our pickup men set him down to the ground, we'll come up with a marking of 60 points for Bart Macbeth to start off the Casey Tibbs Match of Champions here this year. Well, I'll tell you, we've got some of the best horses in the business. We're going to be talking about our stock contractors a little bit later. Let's go to Wiley Wells right now. Whiplash is the name of the horse that he has drawn. Wiley has drawn up on the horse owned by the Corco Rodeo Company, Mr. Jim Corco, out of South Dakota as he goes to work here. An 8-second ride, again, is what we're looking for. Wanting to stay in that saddle right in the center. Perfect rhythm and timing is what it's all about when it comes to riding saddle bronc horses. And plenty of pickup men to help him down to the ground, but a little bit of trouble at the onset of the ride here for Wiley Wells. He failed to mark that horse out of the chute and then did not receive a score because of that. Let's go to Howard Hunter right now. Here's a man that has been many times a qualifier to the Indian National Finals Rodeo. He's one of the veterans when it comes to riding bucking horses, but is going to prove to us right here that he can compete even with the youngsters. He is probably one of the oldest bronc riders here today, but is making it look pretty easy right here. Howard Hunter down to the ground now and comes up with a marking of 74. Cloudy was the name of the horse that he had drawn. That horse also owned by the Corco Rodeo Companies. And let's take another look at it here in slow motion. This horse takes a little bit of a run at him. Howard just kind of holds his feet out in the shoulder area until the horse goes to bucking, then goes to spurring. Picture perfect right here as we take a look at it coming straight on to us. Nice ride made by Howard Hunter. 74 points is going to put him to the lead right now in the bronc riding. Well, you can see it rained just prior to the performance here. The arena is pretty muddy. As we move to our next cowboy, this is Kurt Schulke. Fool's Gold, another Corco bucking horse here. Takes a little bit of a run at our cowboy. He'll come up with a marking here of 61. That is going to put him right now in second place in the competition. So a 74, a 61, and a 60 is what we're looking at right now in our top three. Let's go to T.C. Holloway. Skull Spotted Fever, the horse that he has drawn. Holds those feet out at the point of the horse's shoulder there. Then the horse goes to bucking. Again, rhythm and time in a 4.5 spurring motion. From the shoulder back to the cattle boards in that bucking saddle. And as he weathers through the storm and makes the ride, it is a marking of 69 to put him right now in second place. T.C. Holloway in second place in the bronc riding. Speaking of our stock contractors, there was Mr. Jim Sutton right there on the back of the chutes. One of our premier stock contractors here at the Casey Tibbs. Let's go to Bud Longbreak. Speaking of veterans, here's a man that has been many times a qualifier to the national finals. Whoa, look at this. This horse is going to throw some bad ones at him right here. Shadow is the horse that he has drawn. Another Corco bucking horse. And Bud Longbreak making it look kind of easy here. Now our pickup men trying to ease up alongside and set Bud Longbreak down to the ground. I'll tell you what, a class act right there when it comes to riding bucking horses. Bud Longbreak scores 71.5 to put him to the lead right now in the bronc riding. Watch it again in slow motion. Right there, that horse really kind of ducks hard to the left. Would have lost a lot of our cowboys, but Bud Longbreak sticks right in there, makes a nice ride here. Gets out of rhythm maybe there just a little bit. But this horse is pretty tough to ride, probably tougher than he really looks. And again, Bud Longbreak to the lead right now with a 74. We'll move to Glenn O'Neill from Canada. Prairie Fire is the horse that he has drawn. Another great Corco bucking horse here. Out of the Wrangler Jeans and Shirts bucking chute. Glenn O'Neill originally from Australia, now living in the country of Canada. He as well makes it look pretty easy here on Prairie Fire, owned by the Corco Rodeo Company. I like our pickup men's attire. Casey Tibb fashion right there, and we are looking at a marking of 77 for Glenn O'Neill. 77 to put him to the lead right now in the bronc riding. Lifts on that buck rein, then goes to spurring. Nice paint horse right here. You can see this arena is very, very muddy. As I said, it downpoured just prior to the performance here this evening. Nice clear skies right now, but the arena is pretty wet. And Glenn O'Neill moving to the lead with a marking of 77. Here's Tom Newens, and Crow Fair Skull is the horse that he has drawn. This horse owned by the Sankey Rodeo Company, Mr. Ike Sankey. Our cowboy making final preparations, wanting to make sure that everything is just right before he nods for the horse to be released from the buck and shoot. Out of the Rosebud Casino buck and shoot is where the action is coming to us from. Now look at this. Goes to work right here. This horse pretty tough to ride. You can see that our cowboy is keeping his feet back, and he is going to make that 8-second whistle. No spurring action involved here. I don't know if we'll get a chance to see that one again in slow motion, but never really got in rhythm with the horse. And Tom Newens comes up with a marking of 61 to place him right now among the top 5 in the bronc riding. Here's some young ladies enjoying the bronc riding this afternoon. As we move to our next cowboy to try, it is going to be Tyler Robertson. Samstown Skull is the horse here. This horse owned by the Sutton Rodeo Company, Mr. Jim Sutton, out of South Dakota. Tyler Robertson has got a marking of 77 to beat right now to move to the lead. Now remember, the top 12 out of the 34 that ride here in the first go-round get a chance to advance to the second go-round. And then 6 of those 12 with the highest scores advance to the sudden death go-round. 61 points for Tyler Robertson, I'm afraid, is not going to be good enough with the caliber of horses and riders that we have here to advance him to the second go-round. Here's Cliff Norris now. Uncle Sam Skull is the bucking horse. Another Jim Sutton bucking horse trying to unseat our cowboy as he circles around to the left. Flying dismount here and down in the mud right there. He says, I'm safe. He's safe at first, but it's going to be a no score for Cliff Norris. No score for our cowboy. That'll bring us now to Tom Mao. Midnight Star is the horse here. This horse owned by the Long Break Rodeo Company. Now, as we talk about our drivers, Meeks, Long Break, Treason, Corco, Sutton, and Midwest Rodeo Company, all represented here at the Casey Tibbs Match of Champions. Tom Mao goes to work. And as we set him down to the ground, it is a marking of 65 as he kind of tiptoes through the mud, trying to keep those Justin boots clean. Tommy Mao, a marking of 65. Here's Adam Jones in Copenhagen Blue, another Jim Sutton bucking horse. Takes that deep breath. There's the mark out rule that we talk about. Heels of the boots out and the points of the horse's shoulders, that first jump out. And then our cowboy gets unseated early here. Adam Jones down to the ground. It'll be a no score for Adam Jones. Kind of a tough way to come down. It was a nice start. Let's go to Shane Lyon next. And Dunbar is the horse here. This as well as another Jim Sutton bucking horse. Some great livestock here by some of the premier stock contractors in the business. Many of these horses have been to the National Finals Rodeo. And Shane Lyon weathering through that storm and is down to the ground now. Will come up with a marking of 68 for his effort. 68 for Shane Lyon. Sean Stroh now, and Crown Royal is the horse here. Again, we stay with the Jim Sutton Rodeo Company for this horse. Sean trying to get his foot deep into that stirrup. They ride with what we call oxbow stirrups. They'll sink their foot right into the boot heel as they stick them into those oxbows, wanting to make sure that they keep their stirrup the entire length of the 8-second ride. You blow a stirrup, it'll be a no score, so they want to stay in there solid and tight on those stirrups. We set Sean Stroh down to the ground, but have a little bit of trouble with the ride. It's going to be a no score for Sean Stroh, no score. Well, folks, we've got a little entertainment here for you that we hope that you enjoy. I'm just going to kick back and kind of watch it and enjoy it myself as we watch a little bit of trick riding by the Gratneys. Well, folks, we hope that you enjoyed that little added attraction here at the Casey Tibbs Match of Champions, the Gratney family, and what a great job they do. Well, back to the action at hand as we get back underway with the bronc riding competition. Leon Etzkorn, one of our pickup men, up next to go. He has drawn the horse Interstate. Interstate owned by the Midwest Rodeo Companies, Mr. Steve Sutton out of South Dakota. And as Leon goes to work here trying to make it work, I'm afraid failed to mark this horse out of the chute, so it's going to receive a no score for his efforts as his partners, his comrades move in and help him down to the ground safely. Leon Etzkorn will receive a no score for his efforts here today in the bronc riding. But what a great job he is doing as one of our official pickup men here at the Casey Tibbs Match of Champions. That'll bring us next to Jeff Miller. American Dream is the name of the horse that Jeff has drawn. This horse owned by the Sankey Rodeo Companies, Mr. Ike Sankey. And look at this horse, ducking and diving and twisting. What a tough one to ride right here. But this dedicated and talented young man makes it through the 8-second whistle and then says, hey, I've got myself a cowboy taxi right here. Why not just ride him back over to the bucking chutes and not have to walk through the mud? Pretty nice thinking right there. Pretty good thinking. Jeff Miller is going to come up with a marking of 74 as we set him down to the ground, right back where he started from. 74 for Jeff Miller. Watch this one again in slow motion. That 74 is going to put him right now among the top 5 in the bronc riding. That horse really ducking and diving, trying to get rid of him. Jeff Miller stays in there every jump of the way. In the lead right now, a 77 and then a pair of 74s in second place, then a 71.5 in fourth place. That'll bring us now to Tyler Fritz, and Quitting Time is the name of the horse that he has drawn. This as well as a Sankey horse. Big, stout, good-looking pony, going to carry him good across the arena.
A little bad news for Tyler. He failed to...
Well, a little bad news for Tyler as we hear our in-house announcer talking about it. He failed to mark that horse out of the chute. It doesn't matter how well you ride. If you don't mark the horse out of the chute at the beginning of the ride, it is a no score, and that is what is resulting for Tyler Fritz. Let's go to Lyle Anderson now. Sagebrush, the horse here that he has drawn. This horse is well owned by the Sankey Rodeo Company. Look at this. This horse really bogging his head and going to bucking across the arena. Circles around to the right a little bit. Our cowboy, Lyle Anderson, staying in there all the way. Our pickup men put him down to the ground. Now let's watch this one back again in slow motion. He kind of eases down here to make sure that he doesn't get too much mud on him. 80 points for Lyle Anderson to go to the lead of the bronc ride. Watch it again here in slow motion. He has really got his feet set right there, then goes to spurring right here. Good rhythm and good timing. Now, when the horse's front feet hit the ground, you want to have your feet up in the shoulder area. This horse is really trying to get rid of him, really bogs his head right here and goes to bucking. This is just a pretty nice ride right here, and he is going to go to the lead in the bronc ride. Nice effort by Lyle Anderson. That 80 points is going to be the mark now. It's going to be tough to beat as we have about 10 to go to end the first go-round. Here's Sean Tibbs, and All Gone is the horse that he has drawn. Sets those feet, and right there, the mark-out rule. Makes it work for him right here. This as well as another Sankey horse, and a pretty tough one to ride right here. Kind of tough to get in rhythm with this horse. He doesn't really kick out high over the back end, but is kind of tough to get in timing and rhythm with. And Sean Tibbs will turn in a marking of 61 for Sean Tibbs. Now again, remember the top 12 have the opportunity of this round to advance to the second go round. Then we take the top 6 from there, and they go to the sudden death go round for all of the big money. Here's Matt Reed, and Shindig is the horse. This is a Sankey horse. Matt Reed, a national finals qualifier, comes to us from the state of Kansas, out of a great rodeoing family. Has got a great background when it comes to riding bucking horses. Matt Reed marked 73. That, I believe, is going to put him right now in about 4th place in this go-round. Watch it again here. Matt Reed, a very capable young man here when it comes to riding bucking horses. As I said, NFR qualifier. This horse is kind of a tough one to ride as well. Not much of a set pattern to him, and he has really got his head bogged down there and is trying to get rid of Matt Reed, but he makes the ride, and again, 73 for Matt Reed. Let's go to Tom Reeves. As you talk about NFR qualifiers, here is probably the young man here at the Casey Tibbs Match of Champions this weekend that has the most NFR qualifications of anybody here entered this weekend. He does make it look pretty easy right here. Desperado, the horse that he had drawn. And now it's a horse race as the pickup men try to get up alongside and set him down. Pulls those feet from the oxbow stirrups, hits the ground a-running, and Tommy Reeves comes up with a marking of 68 on his effort. Hopefully that'll be good enough to take him into the second go-round. That'll bring us to Casey Jones now, and $6 grand is the horse that he has drawn. This horse is owned by the Longbreak Rodeo Company, Mr. Pete Longbreak. Nice mark out there, keeps those feet up in the shoulder area until the horse goes to bucking. Now tries to get in rhythm and timing as he comes around right in front of the grandstands, and then kind of collides with the pickup man as they set him down to the ground. And we are looking here at a marking of 55. I'm afraid is not going to be good enough to take him into the second go-round of competition. 55 for Casey Jones. Here's Duffy Duchesneau, and Big Bucks is the horse. The Midwest Rodeo Company brings us this great bucking horse. Duffy says, I'm going to fan him just a little bit and give the crowd something to look at, then hits the pay dirt, but the only problem is the pay dirt has turned into mud. It's going to be a marking of 65 for Duffy, 65. We're going to go to Tom Newens right now. The American State Buck and Shoot. Crow Fair Skull is the horse here. Again, this is another Sutton bucking horse, Mr. Jim Sutton, out of South Dakota, as well as the Midwest Rodeo Company from South Dakota. And again, what a great bunch of bucking horses these guys have brought here for our contestants to compete on. Well, we lose visuals here for just a few moments, but as we get back and on track here, it'll be a 61-point ride for Tom Newens, 61. Tim Shell to go now. This horse vapor locks just a little bit. They hold that chute gate for him. Make sure that he's going to come and look around before they pull it around to let him out. TNT is the horse that he has drawn, owned by the Longbreak Rodeo Company. Now notice right there he has to pull that left foot out of that oxbow stirrup. They do put those feet in there deep, and those oxbows will hold the boot pretty good. You want to make sure that you have your feet kicked free before you try to get to the ground. It'll be a 66-point ride for Tim Shell aboard TNT. Marty Jandrew to go now. Midnight is the horse. This horse fighting him just a little bit here in the buck and shoot.
This horse is sponsored by the Highmore Auction Barn.
Longbreak Rodeo Company brings us this fine animal. Sets back and says, I'm ready, boys. Let's try him. Marty Jandrew, and he is going to make it through the 8-second whistle. And as we put Marty down to the ground right back where he started from, we look to the judges. They tell us it'll be 73. I believe that'll be tying right now for about 5th and 6th in this go-round. Well, we're going to go to a youngster right now. This is Rod Hay. Makes his home in Wildwood, Alberta, Canada. Here's a guy that is fairly new. I say fairly new. He's about 6-7 years to the professional rodeo ranks. He has been 6 times to the NFR. He has been the 1990, the 1992, and 94 Canadian Bronc champion. So you can see this guy has had a very full career with the few years that he has been involved. Comes up through the ranks of high school and college rodeo, but comes up a little bit weak here today with a marking of 69 for Rod Hay, 69. He gives somebody the thumbs up. happy-go-lucky style. He's one of the great ones. Let's go to Chuck Holloway now, and Slam Dance is the horse that he has drawn. Slam Dance brought by the Sparky Dreesen Rodeo Company. Takes a little bit of a run at him, and whoa! Another one of our pickup men here, Chuck Holloway. Easing back up, and of course is going to come up with a no score. That'll bring us now to Darren Schilke, and Ruby is the name of the horse that he has drawn out of the Fort Pierre Livestock Auction Incorporated chute. Keeps those feet out in the shoulder area, that mark out rule. Then goes to spurring right here. This horse circles around to the left. You can see that this arena is pretty much a swamp right here. I mean, it is a muddy son of a gun, and is, I think, affecting the way that these horses buck a little bit here this evening. We set our cowboy down to the ground. He limps back over to the buck and shoot area, comes up with a marking of 67 for Darren, 67.
Donnie's your destiny. We'll see what happens here.
Here's Johnny Pollock now.
Horse was raised on the Height Ranch and certainly is a fine bucking horse. Johnny Pollock, the cowboy, Texas cowboy.
Sets those feet. Here's a young man out of the Lone Star State of Texas. Puts that hand, that free hand up in the air, then goes to work right here. 4.5 spurring motion, looking good. Now look how this horse is kicking out high over the back end. Pretty nice horse to ride right there. And he says, I'm headed back to the shoot area. It's not safe out here. He's going to be 74.5, and I believe is going to be good enough to come back among our top 12 for the second go-round. Watch it again here in slow motion. This horse really kicks out high over the back end. See those kicks right there? Nice horse to ride. He gets in pretty good timing and rhythm of horse, and it looks pretty good right there. Again, 74.5 for our man from Texas. That'll bring us now to Mike Heathershaw. Eagle Nest is the name of the horse that he has drawn as he gets set and ready to go here. Now this horse is going to take a little bit of a run at him, not really giving Mike the ride that he would like to have to move among the top 12 to make it to that second go-round. Just kind of eases out around through there, really just takes a run at him the entire 8-second ride. And as we set him down to the ground, our pickup men tell us that it will be a 50-point ride with the option. He has the option of a re-ride if he would like to take that, and I believe he will, to try to make it into the top 12. Let's go to Zach Crane now. Bud Light is the horse that Zach has drawn. Pretty nice pony here. And gets a good up-close look right there as he comes by our camera. Now setting him down to the ground. And Zach Crane taking a look at our officials to see what his score is going to be. It'll be a marking of 50 for Zach Crane. 50 points will not be good enough to be among the top 12. Here's Darren Schilke. Ruby is the horse that he has drawn. Kind of a tough start out of the chute here. It's always a little bit harder when those horses don't break and come away from the buck and shoot that first jump. They kind of hang in there, try to hang you up, try to scrape you off. And Darren down to the ground now, tiptoeing back. It'll be 67 for Darren Schilke, 67. Here's our final one to go now as we talked about the re-ride for Mike Heathershaw. Big Buck is the horse that he has drawn here as his re-ride animal. And wanting to have a little better score than the 50 that he was given in the on his first ride. This horse kind of has a sporadic bucking rhythm here. And failed to mark the horse out of the chute, so it'll be a no score. It was a do or die situation. He had to do something. 50 was not going to get him among the top 12, and ends up now with a no score here on his second horse. Well, we'll take a look at the scoreboard, and those contestants that will be coming back. Your leaders, Lyle Anderson with an 80, then Glenn O'Neill with a 77. Johnny Pollock with a 74.5, a pair of 74s in 4th and 5th for Howard Hunter and Jeff Miller. And now to round out the rest of the 12 that will make it to the second go-round, but not in any particular order. It's going to be Rod Hay, Shane Lyon, T.C. Holloway, as well as Matt Reed, Tom Reeves, and Marty Jandrew. We will see all of those contestants compete in the second go-round of competition. Now keep in mind here that the first go-round score does not have any bearing on what they do here. And then from this set of cowboys, the top 6 will advance into the sudden death format. Let's go to Howard Hunter to start things off here. Lone Wolf Skull is the name of the horse that he has drawn. This horse really tried to set him up and throw him out of here. Whoa! Well, I don't know if he makes it for that 8-second whistle or not. We'll have to look down to our officials to see if he was there for the ride. They say he was, and it's going to be 73.5 for Howard Hunter. I mean, that horse did set him up and muck him out. Let's go to Rod Hay right now. White River 2 is the name of the horse that he has drawn. This horse kind of tough to get out on right here. Uh-oh, look at this. Look at this. That gate did not come around, and Rod Hay just kind of bails off onto the chute gate. Now he's looking to the officials to see what their ruling is going to be. They say he is given a re-ride because of the fact that the horse did not get a good break out of the chute. Let's go to Shane Lyon right now. And Bobby Bear is the name of the horse that he has drawn. This horse owned by the Long Break Rodeo Company, circles around to the left. And Shane Lyon going to stay in there. Up alongside our pickup men, set him to the ground. Now remember, Howard Hunter in the lead right now. This is going to put Shane Lyon in second with a score of 67. We'll take the best 6 to the sudden death go-round. Let's go to T.C. Holloway, and Councilman is the horse that he has drawn. Boy, this is a tough horse to ride right here. Big and stout, a lot of power that he was throwing at T.C. He puts T.C. Holloway down to the ground before the 8, and of course, he's going to come up with a no score. Johnny Pollock now, and Bootlegger is the horse that Johnny has drawn. Look at this, big nice start out of the chute. This is kind of the eliminator pen. A little tougher set of horses here for our Cowboys to compete on here in the second go-round than we saw in the first round of competition. And these horses are really throwing it to these Cowboys. This horse is owned by the Jim Corco Rodeo Company. An interesting note for you here, Jim Corco's Rodeo Company is 1 out of 5 that has provided horses to the National Finals Rodeo ever since the NFR began back in 1959. Just a little bit of tidbit of information for you there that I thought you might enjoy. 62 points, the marking for Johnny Pollock. Let's go to Matt Reed now. And Poker Chip is the horse that Matt has drawn. Pretty tough horse to ride right here. Matt Reed from Kansas is going to make it through the 8-second storm here on this horse. And down to the ground, and as we look to the officials, they say it'll be a marking of 70 for Matt Reed to put him right now in second place, and he's hoping that that'll hold among the top 6. Here's Jeff Miller now, and Rainbow River is the horse that he is on. Tough start right here. These horses a little snappier than we saw in that first round of competition. As I said, kind of the eliminator pin. This horse definitely a tough one to ride right here. Jeff Miller is going to place in there and is going to be among the top 2 right now. Tom Reeves and Copenhagen Jaws. The man right here with the distinct privilege of having the most NFR qualifications of any Cowboy riding here in the Casey Tibbs Match of Champions. He makes it look pretty easy right here as this horse circles around. And we come up with a marking of 69.5 for Tom Reeves. Well, we've got about 3 to go and then the re-ride, so 4 yet to go to wind things up here with our top 12. As we move to Lyle Anderson, and Road Spirit is the horse that he has drawn. Now here's a horse owned by the Sankey Rodeo Company that went last year to the National Finals Rodeo, and you can see why right there. This horse does set this Cowboy up and then kind of duck out from under him, puts him down to the ground. I'd like to see that one again in slow motion. I mean, that horse had that planned. He did put Lyle Anderson down to the ground. It'll be no score for Lyle. Here's Glenn O'Neill and Justin Boots, the horse that he has drawn. Justin Boots owned by the Sutton Rodeo Company. Big high leap and a strong start out of the buck and chute for Justin Boots. Glenn O'Neill stays with him. Yeah, look at this. This is looking good all the way. I mean, this horse started strong. He finishes strong all the way through here. Now, Glenn O'Neill looking for a safe set down to the ground. He is going to go to the lead right now with an 84.5-point ride here in the second go-round for Glenn O'Neill. Let's watch this one again in slow motion. Look at the start that this horse makes out of the chute. Glenn keeps his feet right up there in the shoulder area, doesn't drop to the belly at all, and then tries to get in rhythm with this horse and goes to spurring. There the rhythm comes in right there as he gets things tuned in and tapped off. I mean, this is a nice looking ride made right here by Glenn O'Neill. And again, 84.5 is going to put him to the lead right now in the Bronc ride and here in the second go-round. He'll be a tough one to beat when we go to that sudden death format. We go to Marty Jandreau right now and Snidely Whiplash. This horse owned by the Sankey Rodeo Company was a qualifier. The horse was a qualifier to the 1995 National Finals Rodeo. Kind of gets a little bit of a tough start out of the chute right here. Doesn't bring his head around, but then goes to bucking pretty good. Snidely Whiplash, the horse, Marty Jandreau, the cowboy, and they are going to stay together for the 8-second whistle. It'll be a marking of 64 for Marty Jandreau, 64. Last one to go now. This is the re-ride that was awarded to Rod Hay. The horse that he has drawn for the re-ride here is Tempo. Nice start here. That horse just kind of swings around and comes right out of there. You remember he was awarded a re-ride because the horse did not leave the chute. He kind of got hung up in there and bailed off onto the chute gate. Rod Hay makes the 8-second whistle here and is 73.5 for the effort. 73.5 for Rod Hay. Well, that's going to do it for the second go-round. Let's take a look at the leaders here in round number 2. Nice crowd on hand. As you can see, the sun has gone down. It has cooled off here a little bit in South Dakota. Here is the scoreboard coming up. The top 4, Glenn O'Neill, Jeff Miller, Rod Hay, and Howard Hunter. Highest score in the second go-round, an 84.5, then a 74.5, and a pair of 73s.5. Also coming back to ride in the sudden death go-round will be Matt Reed and Tom Reeves. Well, folks, we were entertained a little bit ago by the Gratneys with their trick riding abilities. We're going to watch their roping abilities now, so sit back and enjoy it. Trick action of the Gratneys. Well, it is a family affair for the Gratneys when it comes to entertaining rodeo families. We appreciate their involvement here with the Casey Tibbs Match of Champions. The top 6 come back: Glenn O'Neill, Tom Reeves, Jeff Miller, Howard Hunter, Matt Reed, and Rod Hay. We're going to see all of them ride for the big money here. To win this bronc riding, it will pay $2,250. Let's start things off with Matt Reed. He'll be the first one to go. He has drawn Copenhagen Leon. And as we get things started off, it's looking pretty good here for our man from El Dorado, Kansas. He's going to work right here. Nice, nice, nice. Horse is going to buck straight away across the arena. This looked really good. We're going to get a chance to watch this one again back in slow motion. Of course, he is going to be in the lead as he sets the pace for the rest of the bronc riders here in the sudden death format round. It'll be a marking of 77 for Matt Reed. 77. Watch this one again. I'll tell you what, you couldn't ask for a horse to be any more honest or any more solid than this horse is right here for 8 seconds. He does give Matt Reed a good ride. We're going to make a correction on that score. It is 77.5 for our man from Kansas. Matt Reed makes a nice ride on this horse. As you get a chance right here in slow motion to get a good look at him coming right at our camera, that is a picture-perfect ride right there. Let's move to our next man to try. It's going to be Tom Reeves, and Jenny's Pride is the name of the horse that Tom has drawn. I'll tell you, if this guy gets tapped off on a good horse, he is going to be going to the pay window. This horse is a tough one to ride, and Tom Reeves kind of making it look like a day off right here. Just another day at the office for 8 seconds. Did you see that? Right there in midstream after the 8-second whistle had blown, he reached down and switched hands with that buck rein. Watch this one again in slow motion. 80 points for Tom Reeves. He is now the pace setter, and that, of course, is the score to beat. Watch this. Nice mark out there. Then gets his feet back, goes to spur it, tries to get in rhythm with this horse. Right there, this horse gets pretty tough and pretty dirty to ride. But Tom Reeves stays with him every jump. And as you can see indicated by the score, the judges liked it. It's going to be a marking of 80 for Tom Reeves. Here's Howard Hunter. Made it barely to the whistle in the second go-round. Then the horse that he was riding kind of set him up and mucked him out. Oh, boy. Well, I'll tell you, this horse, a little different trip here. He puts him up and puts him down. Howard Hunter, as I said, one of our veterans. We don't see that happen to him very often. But it'll be a no score for Howard Hunter. Let's go to Rod Hay, and Blue Duck is the name of the horse that he has drawn. Sets those feet in those oxbow stirrups. There's the mark out. Kind of had his feet back in the flats, and then just before the horse takes that first jump out of the chute, he swings his feet into place for the mark out rule. This horse is a bad one to ride right here. We're going to watch this one again in slow motion. He is going to move into third right here with this ride. He'll be third with this ride at 76.5 as we watch it again in slow motion. There he already has his feet up in the horse's shoulders. Then this horse gets kind of bad to ride right here. Leading the bronc riding is an 80 and then a 77.5 and a 76.5 by Rod Hay. We have 2 yet to go that could move him out of the money here in the sudden death format. 80 in the lead, then 77.5, 76.5 is in third. Jeff Miller goes to spurring it to him, sticking the iron to him. From the shoulders back to the cantle boards in that saddle, he is making it look pretty easy right here. We'll watch this one as well in slow motion. Nice extension of the leg forward, and then he clicks them together at the back when he spurs to the cantle boards. It's going to be 79.5 for Jeff Miller to put him right now in second place position for the money. That'll put him in second. Tom Reeves leads. Now look right here as this horse circles around, and you get a chance to see from the back side here the spurring motion. From the side actually right here. Good extension right there. He is spurring all the way and clicking them together at the back end. And again, 79.5 for Jeff Miller. Here's the last one to go now. This is Glenn O'Neill. He has a chance to win it all. He is on Copenhagen's Skull. And a good start here. 80 points is what he has got to beat to move to the lead in the bronc riding. And he has drawn the horse to do it on Copenhagen's Skull, giving him a nice ride. There he hears the 8 seconds, says, I'm bailing out of here. Let the chips fall as they may. And we are coming up with a marking of 81. Glenn O'Neill is going to be the Casey Tibbs Match of Champions champion here for 1995 with a marking of 81 for Glenn O'Neill. Watch this one again. This horse comes out, kind of pivots around to the right, bucks along in front of the buck and shoots, and just gives Glenn O'Neill a good ride here so that he can show his stuff to the officials. Again, 81 points for Glenn O'Neill. That'll be worth $2,250 for him. Second place, $1,350. Third place, $900. Let's take a look at the scoreboard right now with the final results as we line them all up and bring them to you. Here it is. Glenn O'Neill wins it with an 81, followed by Tom Reeves with an 80. And then Jeff Miller wins third money with a 79.5. Finishing fourth is Matt Reed with 77.5 points. That'll do it for the Casey Tibbs Match of Champions here in Fort Pierre, South Dakota.